Who is this story about?
This is a story of Johanna Grimes,
Mm-hmm.
Hickey,
Mm-hmm.
Malone.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the first of my ancestors that came to the United States.
How is she related to us?
She would be a great, great, great grandmother.
So she'd be on the Malley side, not the
On the
Farrell
Malley
side. Okay.
Well, she's on the Malley side.
Mm-hmm.
She's married into the Malleys, and she came from Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Her name was Grimes before she got married. Then she married a man by the name of Ryan, who also came from Ireland. And they had one son.
Now, are these the ones that came on the boat?
Yes.
Yes.
So she was probably Ryan when she was on the boat?
Yes, I think she was Ryan when she was Ryan when she was on the boat.
Okay.
And then they came to America on the boat, but her husband died.
This would be Ryan that died.
This would be the Ryan.
And she had the little boy.
She had a little boy.
Oh, boy.
And I imagine that they had to be down in the hull of the ship.
Oh, yeah.
There was no, they didn't have any money at all.
Wasn't first class.
It was not first class. And then he died on the trip over, and she did not want him buried at sea.
Right, because they just dump him to the sharks, right?
Right, because the thing was that they would just dump him overboard, and the sharks followed the boats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they say that with the slave ships too.
Yes. And so then when she landed someplace near New York, and this was before they had the Statue of Liberty and any of that stuff.
It was before the island, Ellis Island.
Ellis Island.
Right.
And so when she hit New York, she had to bury her husband
With no money.
with no money, and
Yeah, I didn't know anybody either.
and so I imagine he just went into a pauper's grave someplace. So then the next thing that we know that where she ends up is along the Spoon River, and they got a cabin on the
She's
Spoon
married.
River, and she's married to another man by the name of Hickey.
Mm-hmm.
So now she is Johanna Grimes Ryan Hickey.
Mm-hmm.
And with Hickey, she had two girls, and they were sisters. Well, in the wintertime, just before wintertime, Hickey went out to get supplies for the winter. So he went to a nearby town. And when he came back, he had to cross the Spoon River. When he came back, the wagon that he was and the horse team broke through the ice, and he was drowned. And so then
All the supplies are gone.
Right,
supplies are gone, unless they were able to salvage some from what was in the wagon.
Yeah, that seems unlikely.
So then they were worried. They had Indians then, and the Indians were not warriors, but they would steal. They were trying to survive the winter too, and so they would steal anything that they could get a hold of. Well, the preceding fall, they had wheat and some grains, and they stored them in a little shed some distance from the house. So Johanna knew that in order to survive the winter, they were going to have to get that wheat, and she couldn't leave it in
that shed because
the Indians would during the night
They'd steal it.
So the story goes that she put up a lantern at the granary and then at the house, and they went back.
She and the kids hauled it all indoors.
Yeah.
In their grief for losing the man,
Mm-hmm.
but they had to take care of themselves first, and that's
So
what they did.
All the granary, as much as they could, they put in the house.
So they got the house full of grain and probably rats and everything else, and winter's coming on. They don't have any supplies. Oh, boy, yeah.
But at least they had something.
Mm-hmm.
So then the story goes that in the spring, they found Hickey, and his fingers were all
Scraped to the
scraped to the
bone.
bone because he was trying to
Under
get
the ice.
through the ice.
Oh,
and he
boy.
couldn't do it. So now she's gone through Hickey. He's the second husband. So the next time she appears, she comes to just south of Galesburg, and she marries a man by the name of Malone. And he is a bachelor that's never married before. And he, I think, is a little bit younger than she is. And so she has no children by him.
But he's helping raise the 3 kids.
He's helping raise the 3 kids. And then some 2 brothers by the name of Malley came over from Ireland. And one of them was William, and I don't know what the other's first name was. But they married Johanna's 2 daughters who were Hickeys. And so it was 2 brothers
marrying 2 sisters.
2 sisters.
And the William is the direct descendant or ancestor of Charles.
Right.
Okay, it's one of the Charles William.
Right. He's the first William.
And
Okay.
the other line, the other Malley lived where Judy's uncle lived at Merck, which was the next farm to the east.
Which is now Aunt Isabel's. We call it Isabel's.
Mhm.
Isabel Denny farm. Now.
That was a Maley. He lived there.
Yeah, Maley. I've seen it on old plat maps.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, and then while I was doing some research one time on the what we call the first Malley farm, who there was it traced back to a fellow by the name of Ryan, which I assume was Johanna's first child,
Okay.
and somehow or other that farm was given to him. That's an 80 acres.
Mm-hmm.
Or he bought it. He could have gotten grown up and bought a
He
farm.
could have, but I don't think he had it for very long. So my guess is that he inherited it.
And then sold it.
And then let's see.
William was the father of
Charles Stanley Malley, and who had a son whose name was William H. Malley.
William
And
Henry.
He had a sister by the name of Isabel.
Oh yeah, that's our family. Yeah.
Mhm. That's our family.
And so, let's see, there was one other thing that I was trying to bring in.
Sorry.
Stop it.